Godzilla King of the Monsters is the latest entry in the MonsterVerse movie franchise, which includes Godzilla 2014 and Kong Skull Island. This new movie tried to up the monster action that some viewers felt Godzilla 2014 lacked, and while this has largely satisfied Godzilla fans, critics have taken issue with its lack of focus on its human characters and plot. Most Godzilla fans have pointed out that they think that's actually a good thing since the movie instead focused on delivering the greatest monster action of all time. I, however, disagree with both the general consensus from critics and the defenses of the movie that fans have come up with. I felt that the human side of the movie was strong and the monster side could have been improved. Before I explain why, let me give an overview of the story. Spoilers. A government organization called Monarch contains and studies giant monsters all over the world. A Monarch employee named Dr. Emma Russell has invented a device that can either calm a monster down, enrage it, or draw it closer. Some terrorists who want to kill all humans to stop global warming kidnap her and use the machine to wake up King Ghidorah, the most dangerous monster of all, and a bunch of others, so that they destroy the world. Monarch, including Dr. Russell's ex Mark, try to get Godzilla to fight King Ghidorah to save the world. Will Godzilla be able to win the title of King of the Monsters in trial by combat? I don't really see why the human side of this got so much criticism. Every member of Monarch or the military, even the ones whose names you don't really remember, have distinct personalities. There's a plot twist where Dr. Russell reveals she's actually a terrorist, her daughter goes from siding with her mom to siding with Monarch, Mark's disagreements with Monarch and his conversation scene with Dr. Ishiro Serizawa are engaging, and the human side in general takes on an almost adventure movie-like quality when the heroes discover the Hollow Earth in Atlantis, exactly like in Aquaman, yes. The actors are all great, and the movie depicts being a fan of monsters the same as cryptozoology, UFO hunting, or mythology, which grounds the ridiculous things they're doing in a recognizable context. Since the humans have a machine that can control monsters, they're heavily involved in drawing the monsters together and making them fight each other. This is one of the best human plots of any Godzilla movie. It's not as good as the original Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, or GMK, but it's up there. My only real criticism would be how much Monarch is a ripoff of S.H.I.E.L.D. from the Avengers. They even have a flying aircraft carrier, only it's shaped like a stealth bomber instead of an aircraft carrier. Before I get into my issues with how the monster side of things were handled, I do want to say up front that I liked it overall. It's just the part of the movie that I had more issues with. But there are lots of details to the monsters that were great to see. We finally know how Godzilla can appear in cities all over the world in such a short time, thanks to the passages in the Hollow Earth. He finally has a real reason to be called the King of the Monsters. There's tons of religious symbolism associated with the monsters, none of it subtle, but all of it welcome. My personal favorite being when Mothra appears as an angel, guiding the humans to the right place. They invert the ending of the original film by having Dr. Serizawa kill himself to save Godzilla. King Ghidorah's head grows back after being bitten off like the mythological Hydra that inspired him. He and Rodan's abilities to destroy things by flapping their wings are interpreted in two completely different ways. Rodan is clearly so heavy he can barely keep himself in the air, and there's an actual reason for Godzilla to get larger for this movie. But it's not perfect, far from it. There are 5 monster battles during the movie, separated over 3 action scenes. Godzilla fights King Ghidorah in the Arctic for the first battle, but it's during a blizzard and at night. Then King Ghidorah fights Rodan, but it's in a hurricane created by Ghidorah's wings. Then Godzilla fights Ghidorah again, but it's underwater. Mothra fights Rodan, also in a hurricane, and at night, and finally Godzilla fights King Ghidorah. While this last fight is also at night, it's actually mostly visible, but it's affected by 2 other issues, one of which affects every King Ghidorah fight, and the other of which affects every single fight in the movie. See, King Ghidorah has lightning sparking off his body all the time, and he, of course, can breathe lightning, so that makes sense, but this causes a lot of intense flashing light, which is usually contrasted with the darkness caused by the nighttime or storms. The second issue is that the filmmakers made the mistake of shooting way too much of the action from a human perspective, with the camera kept at human eye level and or very close to the monsters to make them feel bigger. While I guess it accomplishes this goal, all of this adds up to make parts of each fight difficult to see. Only the last fight is nearly perfect. In addition, the movie introduces plenty of other monsters, but it sort of pulls a Pacific Rim Uprising and doesn't actually do anything with them. Godzilla King of the Monsters is not the Godzilla film I've been waiting my entire life to see, but it's a pretty dang good one and happens to have one of the best human plots in the series. I only recommend it to Godzilla fans or fans of sci-fi action blockbusters in general, but it's a strong recommendation if you fall into either camp. Thanks for listening.